think I'm good over here. I don't hear any echoing.
Yeah, I don't hear any echo either. And we are live streaming on Facebook
Hello.
now. So
We never know what's happening, but that's
yeah,
okay.
I think we're good. Tech is definitely not our strong suit, but
No.
we're here. We're here.
We probably are.
Get one of our assistants to help us next.
No, I like being able to figure it out ourselves. Because your Zoom, hey Lindsay, they're not going to hear you on the Zoom because you muted yourself on Zoom.
There we go.
Yeah.
I've looked like a fool this whole time. I was talking, y'all. So sorry.
It's all right. I think we're good. Okay. Yes, Annie said, yeah, we are back. So they can hear us on Facebook.
Oh, okay, so let me do the hair flip now. Now that we're ready.
Okay, and Jackie O on Instagram said we can hear both. So
Sweet.
all right. So first of all, how are you?
Oh my God, I'm awesome. I was like cold a minute ago. Now I'm sweating. So don't know what's up with that. I guess all the energy.
Energetics. Hello.
I am doing great. How are you?
It's been a week. This energy, I don't know, man. I don't know. But it's good. It's good. It's just a lot going on.
Let me situate myself.
But a lot is going on here. But so I figured because last time we just did straight card pulls, right? So like obviously people know we can do that. Like, duh, we're having a spiritual retreat. But what if like, and this is what I texted you last night, like what if we like kind of dive into more about what it's like to like, you know, like kind of come out of the witchy closet and really immerse yourself in there, you know? Yeah, and everybody's commenting on the energy. Everybody's like, yeah, the energy is so weird. Annie said she likes it.
Oh my God. You know what I just realized? Okay, until you said that, I mean, like, you already, what? This is actually bringing me to my point. Him screaming, he has been so weird all week. Like, he has been so different. I mean, just not himself. So it actually doesn't make sense. So, well, hold up. What about the energy? Like, what's going on astrology?
So we had a big shift over the weekend.
Yeah.
So Pluto moved into Aquarius, and we also had Mars shift into Cancer. So like the emotions, like Mars in Cancer doesn't really like flow because Mars is kind of stifled in Cancer because it gets caught up in the emotions. So like for me personally, I've been a lot mushier this week than I normally am. Like, and I'm just like in my feels. But to the point that I'm like mushy and like I don't really want to do anything. And that's not, you know, like that's not really who I am. But so I'm getting used to it for sure. But that was a big part of it. We had so many things in Aries right now. The moon being in Cancer with Mars in Cancer, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So, but we have a full moon next week, so
yay!
I love it. I'm pumped for the full moon to really like just release.
Yeah.
And it's a Libra full moon, so it'll bring balance, which is good. So feels good.
Like all the balance we can get over here.
Yeah, no kidding.
All of it.
Yeah.
But no, coming out of the witchy closet. I know you say witchy closet. I don't identify with that at all, that word, that everybody's going to have something different. So what are like I say like the spiritual closet or I don't know, down in the Bible Belt, like I'm just deemed a weirdo, I think, you know, like I'm doing some devil's work over here. Cause anyway, but I'm really excited to talk about this because it is really difficult. One, to sometimes identify that they're gifts, and then two, admitting that they're like, hold up. You know, everybody thinks that people are gonna think you're like that kid from The Sixth Sense or something. But what do you reckon? I mean, where do we start with that?
Well, so like I kind of want to phrase it as like, what did you feel you needed in order to feel safe to do what you're doing, to like, you know, come into this life of spirituality and your spiritual business?
Me personally,
Yeah.
um, well, some death had to do a lot with it when my daughter's dad passed. I mean, it's just like so quickly everything changes, and it was a really big shock for me. And so I think that really got my toe dipped into like being comfortable with it. But then the big thing for me, honestly, honest to God, was being in and is being in your energy. Just I felt acceptance. Really, because I don't have that here in Mississippi. And I'm gonna, for anybody watching, I'm gonna give you a little bit without giving too much info and without pissing anybody off, but a little bit about me is that I'm definitely the black sheep of my family, of I would say this what feels like this area. Um, Again, I know I harp on the Bible Belt, but I say that because um I've always been that black sheep and trying to find my way. And so maybe somebody else out there feels that way. And I always just felt like I was absolutely crazy. People made me think I was crazy, being emotionally different, being energetically different. Like, I mean, I have, I just had to find the comfortability. I've never felt like I belonged. And being in the online environment allowed me to find my people. And you're like the biggest person and biggest component in that. And I really have to say that what really pushed me to, I guess, be uh what is the word, visible with it is being back in your container, honestly. Because I now know I'm not crazy, especially this round of the Psychic Activation Academy. Oh my God. Like Megan and who else was it? Is it Andrea? Like everybody in there, it makes me realize that this is way more normal than anybody realizes. And that makes me feel safe to know that, you know, I belong somewhere. Because I think genuinely we can all sit and say, I don't care what anybody thinks and I don't want to fit in. But like you want to feel welcome somewhere. And getting back into around people has really empowered me to just be like, fuck it. Fuck it. Especially whenever you start getting such evidence. It's like, I feel like if I don't do this, what if this is part of my purpose? And so that's really what has done it for me. It was being around like-minded people who get it. I don't feel alone anymore in this.
Yeah. And I think like, of course my journey was a little different because coming from a spiritual home,
Yeah.
it was accepted. It was just something that we didn't really talk about, even though it was accepted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, it was more coming out to the people in my life
Mm-hmm.
that scared me more because like my family was like, yeah, like you've been seeing ghosts since you were little. Like it wasn't a surprise, but then it was more the fear, right? Of what people would say.
Mhm.
And I had my 20-year high school reunion this past September. And some of these people I haven't seen in literally, well, not 20 years because we had a 10 year, so 10 years. And but obviously the business is new since then. And meeting up with everybody. And again, I haven't seen them in years. These are people that have known me since I'm 5 years old. And so many of them came up to me and they were like, this makes so much sense. Like, we are not surprised at all. I'm so glad you're doing this work. Like, you've always been into this stuff.
Yeah.
His 13th birthday party was a seance. But you have to remember too, like know the audience, because we were also like, that was the same time that movie Now and Then came out.
Okay.
So like,
Yeah.
like cool.
Uh-huh.
But it was just like, my mom was a psychic and gave psychic readings, and I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess I haven't told you the fact that my mom is super into this kind of stuff, and that's definitely where it stems from.
Mhm.
But again, she was an outcast too. And so it's like I feel like I kind of followed in her footsteps. And oh man. Oh my I haven't seen that movie, I don't think, by the way. What was it called?
now and then. You're around my age. Like, how have you not seen this movie?
Well, there's a lot I haven't seen.
Really?
There's a lot I haven't seen. Like all the time, my husband. And what's so funny is I wound up going to school for film, briefly for like about a year in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I realized then, like, I really haven't seen very many films at all. It's insane. Um, but I think it's because we just grew up with like we really didn't get to do much. We didn't have money. We didn't get to go to the movies. We didn't have cable or any of that. So this actually makes sense. But anyway, now and then.
I mean, let me put it straight though. It's not like this is like an Oscar nominee. You know, like this isn't like but it is, I mean, it's cute. It's cute.
Who's in it? This is going to bother me. You know, off the top of your
Christina
head.
Ricci,
Well, I love Christina Ricci.
Devin Sawa,
I don't know. I'll have to go check it out.
the girl that was in Sleepless in Seattle.
Okay.
You need to, it's cute. Your daughter would probably like it. It's cute.
Okay. I'll check it out.
But yeah, and like, I don't know. So I guess in that sense, I was more afraid of being judged by my peers,
Yeah. I can see that.
you know, and in New York, yeah, people are weird here. Like people are weird.
Oh,
But
it gets super weird.
yeah, but like the spiritual community isn't like, it's not in your face,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And once I did start to really step into this role in my business, so many people reached out to me and they were like, oh my gosh, I have crystals. Oh my gosh, I do tarot. Oh my gosh, I'm Reiki attuned too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and it's more in New York. I found it's more something that a lot of people are interested in. It's just not something that people speak about.
Yeah. I think so many people are intrigued by it,
Mm-hmm.
even if they don't admit it. I mean, how can you not be fascinated? And you know what I think a big part of it is, though? The people who don't get it, I think they're mostly afraid from it. Like afraid of it. That's what my husband tells me. Because he's like, I love him to death. That I joke all the time about, like, I couldn't have picked a more Southern man. I didn't even think I would land back down South. And then I have a husband who's, I mean, he goes by Dane and our last name is Cotton. Like that's just, I mean, throw some overalls on and put them on a tractor, you know what I mean? He probably he just sounds like he bleeds sweet tea, you know? But
I just can't wait to meet you in real life with all of these like metaphors and all of the things. I can't.
come from, like, this is me. This is like, there's no charade. Like there's nothing. I'm oftentimes TMI with people I'm comfortable around. And don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people who don't get me and who don't get to see this side of me. I'm very selective. So feel blessed. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of my family, and then like let's just say my husband's side of the family, they don't get me. They don't get me at all. But they don't actually take the time to get to know me either, I think. So there's that. But where the hell are we going with that? Oh, my husband being so country and just being so, I don't know, squirrel brain. It ran away with the nuts. Yeah, just saying. Anyway, whenever I talk about stuff like this with him, like last year when we had the Psychic Activation Academy,
Mm-hmm.
I showed him that video. It was just, I think that day, and we were practicing with cards, and I didn't know what cards you had, and I was able to see the moon and everything. Anyway, that was like a really big moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, holy shit, hold on. I thought I was crazy, but this shit's real. Like I have proof. I literally went and took that video to him, and I was like, you've got to watch this. Hold up, this damn battery. We can't go dead now. So I showed it to him and he was just like dumbfounded. Like you could tell his mind was blown. And all he said to me was, I don't know if I want to know about all this.
Which fair.
So like people either just don't get it, these earrings.
I know. Somebody said on Instagram, I know.
So anyway, I was just saying that either people don't get it or they don't understand it, or a lot of people are afraid of it because then what? Like it's portrayed in the movies all wrong. Spirituality and having gifts and all that. Okay, so the earrings, it's so funny you say something about them. Stephanie, I was literally in the midst of texting you when we were talking this morning,
Mhm.
and I was going to write you. And how cool is, first off, they're beautiful, are they not?
They're gorgeous.
They're opal polymer clay. Does that sound right? Anybody? Okay, let me tell y'all something real quick.
I'm a city girl. I have no idea.
I don't know shit either. Like again, we bleed sweet tea, so I'm very fancy. But my sister, she makes all kinds of shit, and she wrote me and said that she was making earrings. So anyway, I love all her earrings, but I told her, I said, if you could do something with moons. And then I get to Georgia, what was it, like over spring break, and she pulled these bitches out and she showed them to me, and I was like, oh my god. Anyway, they're custom, y'all. My sister makes them. If you want some, let me know. But I'm thinking about adding these, and I think it would be cool for, how coaches are like, I don't know, we're building brands. We're not just coaching anymore. We're taking over the fucking world, right?
Mhm.
But I think these are going to be part of my line.
That would be really cool because they're unique. They're different.
They're so different. But what would be cool is for anybody that wanted to, like, I think it would just be cool to like have somebody like that who can make custom stuff for your brand. Anyway.
But that also, like, to connect it, because everything you're saying about your brand, that's also trusting your intuition, trusting
my
the
God.
messages that you're getting,
Yeah.
like trusting this spiritual side of yourself that, maybe a couple of years ago you wouldn't have trusted.
Yep. You helped me. I already knew I was gifted, and it sounds like you always knew too.
Mhm.
I don't know, like, let me finish my first thought, brain. Hold on. Rewind. Oh my God, now I lost it. I was gonna say that, you've really helped me discover my gifts. And that's what this video was titled, was Discover Your Gifts,
Mhm.
But I'm curious about you, like, you said you guys were always pretty spiritual. My mom's very spiritual. Like if you go into her house, like the main painting is a picture that she painted of a tarot card. And so I found out about all of it through her. But I got lost along the way, like so many people were so against it. So I've definitely like just ignored all the gifts. But with you always coming from like an environment that was like that, like, and then being afraid to come out to your friends and like peers and stuff. What did you do? Did you seek mentorship or like what? How did you even get started so that you could expand on your gifts?
Yeah, to be honest, so I like I said, my father's a healer and my mother is a psychic. Like she used to give psychic readings in my home when I was a little kid.
Okay. For some
But
all that.
yeah, however, I grew up in a very Roman Catholic home.
Mhm.
So I always had the duality of religion that we go to, like I have all my sacraments.
Okay.
And like my mom still goes to church every weekend, so like that's still very much a part of her life. But I think that's more of the Italian way.
Hmm.
Like I don't know that it's necessarily like her choice or it's just something she was raised doing, so she continues to do. Um, but but at the same time, she also taught me about reincarnation. She also taught me about, the fact that we can see ghosts, that we can communicate with the other side. My father, and where I live outside of New York City. So like there's a little town actually right by where I live now that my father had a pharmacy in. And he made friends, with people in the community. And one of the people, well, two of the people that he became very close with, the woman was a psychic, and
Hmm.
she's written books and all of the things. And I just, I don't really remember much because I was little, but that's kind of where my mom was able to really develop her gifts, by working with her.
Yeah.
And but like you said earlier, like you want to fit in. Like I always knew I was different.
Yeah.
Like I always knew I was a little weird, and I never understood why. Like I had friends but I was never like the popular girl.
Yes.
Like I was good at sports, but I was never the best. I was a performer, but again, it wasn't like I wasn't the best at it in terms of like singing and dancing and like whatever. And I'm reading this book now that it just all clicked for me. And it's like, wait, just like people can be naturally inclined to be athletic, people can be naturally inclined to be intuitive and psychic. So like, but like that's just where my gift, where I'm naturally inclined.
Oh my gosh. You
You
just made
know?
me so sane. I don't know, something about, I hope that, oh, that just did something for somebody else too. I would love to hear from some of y'all, but did that just, something you just said about being naturally inclined. Yeah, like I like to get out there and like work out, but I can't play sports for the life of me. Like they're fun and all, but I'm not. But music, I gravitate towards that for sure. So that makes complete sense. Oh my God.
Yeah. But
What book are
so,
you
when I was a teenager, I wanted to fit in. So I said, and this was when I like started with crystals and tarot cards, but like nobody knew I had them. Like it was like hush hush.
Uh-huh.
And so, but I would play with the tarot cards all of the time. I essentially taught myself tarot. And then high school, I kind of put it away. College, I kind of put it away because nobody else was into it and I didn't want to be the loner.
Yeah.
And then life happened and it brought me back to my spiritual gifts, especially when like I started to move into like my own apartment and like my first place with an ex-boyfriend. Like there were ghosts everywhere that I couldn't get away from.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this isn't normal that like why do they just come to me?
Hey, what do they look like to you? Like, what are you
I
seeing?
see people.
You literally see people. Like,
Yeah.
do they have feet? Do they float? I gotta know.
It depends. It depends. Like the lady in my parents' house that I used to see, she would float. But when I moved in with my ex, there was a man that would literally like run up the stairs next to me.
Wonder what the difference is.
I think it's just your knowledge of it too, and what your brain can make sense of.
Huh.
Because at my parents' house, I was little. So I was a kid seeing this lady. So in my logical brain, the messages I would receive, it would make sense as a kid to see her floating because that's what I would associate ghosts to look like.
Yeah, and that's what you see in the movies too and stuff.
Yeah.
Good
And
old
like,
cat.
I know I wasn't making her up because my brother saw the same ghost.
Oh snap. Oh my gosh. I love stuff like that.
So it's like, but again, like for me, it was more like I established myself as a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to come out and say like, no, I'm a psychic medium, like that's actually what I want to do. And I want to teach others how to do it. Like for me, it was more of a shift of how the public views me.
Yeah. Especially and you're still, because you're in a school and everything. Yeah, you gotta worry. You don't have to worry about that, but I can see why you would worry about that. Yeah, and I think that's something that I've struggled with a lot too. And that's what, when you asked me, you're like, well, kind of what made you comfortable and kind of come out of the closet, there's been a lot of fear around the idea of what are people going to think? Because I literally have family members who, I can post in my stories. Like anybody that's followed me time and time again, I've shifted from numerous Instagrams. And I continue to have people find me and I know they're judging me and I know they're watching my stories and they're thinking all the things. But there have been times where I've had people reach out, like people near and dear to me, thinking that they're doing a nice thing by worrying about me, but it's been such an insult and it really deterred me from coming out and sharing any gifts and sharing any insight. Because I felt so judged, to be told by another human that I need my soul saved or something like that. Like, it's not your place to tell me that. It's not our place to tell anybody that. And so it's really hard, It goes back to that fitting in bullshit.
Yeah.
And now I'm
And
like, I don't want
I
fit
don't
in.
care. Yeah.
I don't want
But I have to say, a lot of this fear and everything we're speaking of, I dealt with when I went on my first retreat.
Mm,
And I was in a supportive space with people like me
yeah.
that like I could release it and I could heal this and I could do it in a way that I knew, number one, I wasn't being judged because everybody there was just as witchy or spiritual as I was.
Ah!
But also I had the support of the mentors that were leading it that
Yeah.
could literally carry me through the process to a certain extent, like energetically, they're carrying me through it. And that retreat literally changed my life
Yeah.
because I came back a different person. And Jake even said it when he picked me up from the airport. He's like, "You're different."
He could just feel it. Yeah.
Mhm. And as much as he will not admit it, he's very intuitive. He's very empathic.
Yeah.
So, I think mentorship has definitely been a big piece of it for me. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And and one of the women that led me in that retreat just hopped on and she said, "Oh my God, I just jumped on and wow, what timing."
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, some
So,
crazy stuff has been happening, which I think, how much time do you have left?
what do you mean in life?
That was deep. I mean, chat with me on this
Oh,
video.
we got another hour. We can keep going.
All right. I just didn't know if I needed to like come to a stop because your girl got diarrhea of the mouse. Anyway, oh, I was gonna say some crazy stuff has been happening. For instance, like you just said, that she just popped on.
Mhm.
Tell me this isn't coincidental. I hate the word coincidence at this point because it's not a coincidence. But I had a client who, let's see, last year when I started, I really came out and said, okay, I actually do know shit about business and marketing. So now it's time to pay me for it. I signed like it was 4 solo line clients. And one who I have not spoken to like about work or anything for months now. I was last night sending my assistant a video to use for our testimonies, right? Haven't heard from her in forever. And I thought to myself, I've got to check on her. What do you know? One of the first things that happens this morning, she sends me a 3.5 minute message. And also, what's so weird is I was literally just editing her testimonial, and she sends me a message saying, I've got to tell you all the things that have happened. She hit her first 10K revenue month, all these things, and telling me how working together completely changed her life.
Mhm.
So I'm freaking in tears, and I'm like, but at the same time, I think that's a really good example of one of those moments where that is not a coincidence. That's some
No, and, like,
spiritual
even
shit.
Ashley joining, like Ashley, I met Ashley at the retreat and then I continued with her until literally, last week. So it's like you're meant
Was,
to,
was this your mentor that you talk about all the time? Oh my God.
yeah. And she
That's
literally
beautiful.
has changed my life. So it's, there is so much benefit to mentorship and to being led by somebody who has walked the path in front of you.
Yeah.
There's my yoga teacher. She always says this one quote as we're closing up class. And it's on the retreat webpage, like landing page, just because I love it so much. But it's like I'm gonna butcher it right now because I'm trying to remember it. But it's basically like we are now I don't know, but it's something about like we know where to go because of the great ones that have gone before us, right?
Yes.
It's a Ram Dass quote, but like it's so true. And every time she says that, it just strikes such gratitude in me, for people like my mentor and just other mentors that I can follow in their footsteps or at least take what resonates with me to make my life more of what I desire it to be. And I do think the in-person work just accelerates that because you're in the energy. So it just accelerates it so much.
Yep, it does. Have you, or maybe some people watching will get this. I want you to think about like an in-person experience. which is why one-on-one mentorship is so potent and so powerful, and why we believe in it so much. It's because you're in what, and like we call it a container. But anyway,
Don't you guys want to come spend the weekend with us?
it'll be so great, especially cacao. I'm excited about cacao. I've never had cacao.
Yeah, cacao is a very intense experience because, I mean, it's natural, right? And it's not hallucinogenic by any means, but you just feel it. Like you just feel it throughout your body. I just remember being like, oh my God, what's happening? And it's literally like you just feel like this expansion. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really
Yeah.
excited. Oh, what I was gonna say though, I don't have my charger anywhere. No, I thought it was charged. These damn kids always. Ooh, that probably won't work. Anyway, in-person experiences and like being, having that one-on-one time with a mentor, is really like, and I'm ashamed to even admit I watched this damn show. But anyway, what is it? What's it called? Love is Blind.
Oh, I don't watch that. I don't know.
It's a bunch of bullshit, but you can't stop watching. Anyway, you got all these, I would say, typically normal people, maybe not so normal, but okay, people that probably would take months to like show affection and admit what they want in a relationship. And then they put them in these pods and they can't see each other at all. And these people literally are falling in love with each other in a matter of, I would say, a week or two. All just started at Sunday. All in a matter of, just conversation, connection, literal energy, because they have no looks to go off of. And that's what I think about whenever it comes to like, anytime I hire a mentor, anytime I'm in a container, I think about like collapsing the timeline. And I know we hear that from time to time, or it's like become kind of a popular thing to say, but for real though, because time is
No,
not.
it has, and I understand like the frustration behind it because some people are just using it as jargon.
They are
Like, oh, this is what I can help you do, when in actuality, it's an energetic thing that, yeah.
but like these people falling in love and essentially collapsing the timeline because they're blocking everything else out, all their attention, all their energy, all their intention and focus. My cat is trying to get in through the window. Good luck. Anyway, it's towards that. So it makes sense that where the energy goes, the energy flows, and like you're able to. What another thing, and I'm very into quantum physics and I know my shit. But another thing that a lot of people are saying is quantum leap or quantum jump, right? But it allows you to really make that leap. And the way I like to think about it is whenever I talk to clients about like money and money mindset, and I know that we do the money spells and all that. But like when you have this sense of focus, but also like a balance of detachment, and you're in that container and in that space, you really are able to collapse the timeline and have a quantum leap, because there's really nothing stopping me. Like, let's say this, for instance, a good example would be, I wrote this morning in my journal that I have manifested $11,000 and I want to consolidate and get rid of credit card debt. Right. So I wrote down what it was going to go towards. I'm going to surprise my husband. I really like that I'm putting this out there, by the way. Because I truly believe that I can do that. But there's nothing stopping, part of the exercise that I did for myself in my journal was writing down all the ways it could come to me, because I don't know how it's going to happen. Right. But there's nothing stopping somebody coming to me tomorrow or today even and saying, hey, Jacqueline, I've been following your content. I think you're a great writer and I'd like to give you a book deal. Here's a $50,000 advance. There's nothing stopping somebody from coming and saying, I've been listening to your podcast. I think it'd be a really great investment opportunity. And I heard you want to take it on the road. There's nothing fucking stopping me from that, you from, you know what I mean? Like, and so,
but it's so true. And when we're looking to call, especially money, right? We have to let go of the how it's going to come, because obviously like Jake and I have a big year. Like we just bought the house, we just redid the kitchen, we're getting married. Like there's a lot going on over here that, I don't think we really thought through the finances of it all, but because, it's the excitement, it's the newness, it's the celebration, all of it.
Yeah.
But when you just release the control to a certain extent, like I got way more money back in my taxes than I was even anticipating.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know, there's an opportunity that may be coming our way too, in terms of money. Like, who knows? You just have to be open to letting it come. And, this is, if Ashley's still on, she probably remembers this. Like, I was saying something to her, this was months ago. This was like right when we bought the house. Like, literally, it's like the first week in the house. And
Yeah.
I was saying to her about how I was like worried about money in the business. And literally, the doorbell rang. Jake answered the door, and it was a check for me that went to the neighbors for like $1,500.
What?
Yeah, like swear. So I think it's really like using your intuition to really call it in, but then also knowing when it's time to surrender to it, and let yourself co-create with the universe or co-create with your guides.
Yes.
Because so many times we try to micromanage it, and I think that we let the fear come in the way, just like we let the fear stop us from coming out of the spiritual closet. Like we let the fear of these opportunities that the universe is like, here, this is a perfect opportunity for you.
Yes.
And then we stop it because we're afraid of spending the money. We're afraid of traveling. We're afraid of whatever.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there. So I'm just going to keep talking because I don't know what you're doing. So I'm just going to, it's cool. I teach 8th grade at my 9 to 5. I'm used to it. It's fine.
Trying to get.
What are you doing? Are you
trying
now
to
readmitted to the Zoom?
How did I?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
The Hot Mess Express over here. Uh-oh, hold on. We echoing. What's up now? Hold on. We don't want that.
Look at what you did.
I'm trying.
All right. Yeah, we're not echoing. But but again, I think it's knowing your intuition enough to really trust it and really allow it to guide you. And when you feel confident to come out of the spiritual closet, like you said, it's feeling that acceptance. So I think not only is that important for anybody either starting their spiritual life or journey or spiritual business, like, and a container like the retreat is perfect.
Yeah, I would say especially for anybody like just starting out. Which I'm not saying it's like just beginner friendly, but if you, because it is scary. It is scary, like dipping your toe into it. You don't understand. And for someone like me, and this may actually provide a lot of comfort for others out there, but like especially for people like myself who have been under the impression their whole lives that if you dabble in this, you're going to hell, or if you do this, like it's witchcraft and all these bad things, right? But it would be a really good opportunity for you to get around people who have the knowledge and the wisdom and the experience who will like ease you into it, and really explain it in a loving way that makes you feel safe. Because there is a lot of riffraff out there. There's riffraff. Not everybody's going to be genuine with you. There is, some really dark stuff out there. And I mean, there's just, so it'd be really good for you to, meet people and have that first experience. I can imagine, dipping my toe into spirituality and going to a retreat. I didn't know about retreats though, whenever I first started out. Like, I don't even think it was a thing. But it just seems like such a magical experience to be able to do that. Like expressing yourself, you know what I mean? And like coming into that.
And I'm not gonna lie, like at this retreat, there were a lot of tears coming from me.
Yeah.
Like because again, most of the women that were there were from California or like the West Coast. so like for me to also be an East Coaster going out west and like just being around all these people, it made me feel a certain way too, that like I don't have this community at home,
Yeah.
and granted, now that I've been doing this work for a few years, like even some of my friends are picking up on it and like learning about astrology or like learning about manifesting or just reading books on their own. However, the community that I was seeking is more what I felt at the retreat, like the sisterhood and I still keep in touch with all of those women.
It was insane. I mean, not
Nice
insane.
thing. It's
Incredible.
incredible.
And, I invited two of them to my wedding. It's like, yeah, like because the bond you make at these is so deep,
Yeah.
and you're getting to know each other so intimately.
With that being said, I would really like to, can we talk a little bit about like what the experience is going to look like?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I am modeling it off of a lot of what I did on my first retreat, just because that's really what I know, right? And it feels really good. But
Yeah.
definitely the first night, we'll open the circle and really, cleanse the energy and make sure everybody's grounded. We'll get to know each other and like really just kind of hang out. But then the following day is the heavy stuff. So
Yeah.
like that Friday is going to be the heavy stuff. It's going to be the releasing, which, depending on, and this is a general outline too, because we need to see with the people that come and what really comes to be. But that Friday is really about releasing all of the old narratives, all of the things that have hurt us, and using rage as a ceremony.
Yeah.
I feel like when we talk about it, I don't want to say layman's terms, but explain it in a way that maybe people who don't know what we're talking about, like releasing and
So
ceremony and
I mean, the rage ceremony you need to experience. I can't I don't really want to ruin that
I'm so
experience.
excited about that, by the way.
But when I say releasing, I mean physically and energetically releasing things. So that looks like, leading you through some meditations, leading you through some cord cuttings, which we are energetically cutting the energetic ties to certain people or things or whatever. And you may feel those things physically as well, which could look like crying, yawning, screaming, going to the bathroom, burping, any of that. It's really purging the physical energy from you to release it.
That's the
And
word I like, is purge.
yeah,
Basically, we're letting go.
which is also why we have so many bathrooms.
And fix them now.
No, but like honestly, I don't remember how many the retreat house had, but we needed all of them.
Oh man, bring some
Poopery.
what is it called? Poopery. Is that what you? What I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I almost said potpourri, but poopery.
Poopery. But but yeah, so like that, and that's like the heavy stuff, right? And then after that, that's probably going to be all day Friday, honestly, because then I would want to ground everybody after all of that. So that means what? Getting outside, doing some yoga, some somatic breath work, and then the following day in the morning, we will do the healing. We will do all of that. And in the afternoon, evening, it'll be like the integration. So what that looks like in your business, what that looks like in your life, probably some soul activation somewhere in there as well. And that means, through meditation, through readings, through energy work, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a jam-packed weekend for sure, but
It's gonna be
so much fun though.
I know.
I'm so freaking excited.
And then Sunday before we go, we'll close the circle and, do all
even
that.
with, like, all the work that I know that you and I put in, and when I say work, how do I describe that? It's like inner work, like going in, doing the work, uncovering the stuff, like insecurities, improving myself.
Mhm.
Self-improvement. That's what I want. Self-improvement. I feel like that's a good way to say it to people out there. But even though I feel like we work on ourselves so much, I'm so excited to see what still comes out, because there's always room to heal and improve. And not that we all need to hurt and heal all the time, but I just know so much is going to come out. Like there's always going to be something. That's just human nature.
Well, and also at every level you get to, there's a new release, there's a new healing.
What's
You know,
that
like
saying?
stuff comes up for me that I'm like, I thought I healed this. Like, what the hell? And
Yeah.
it's just a deeper layer of it that I need to peel back, or, you know, how, because I look at healing as like an onion, right? So it's like that next layer that I need to take off.
Yeah.
But it's around what I'm experiencing at this next level, at this newer level.
Mm-hmm. It's the up levels are so it could be for beginners, but I mean even the seasoned entrepreneur or seasoned spiritualist, because there is what is the saying? New levels, new devils. Is that what it is? Something like that.
There's always
there's
a new beast to tame, I feel like.
new
I know,
beast to tame. I feel like. So I know,
really
like,
excited.
I'm trying to think of who's coming already.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
really
it's going to be,
excited
and
coming.
this is just going to be such a game changer, because we're going to be able to marry the spirituality with the business and really leave these women with a game plan and funnels and programs and where they're going, and, you know, more of a focus on where they want to go with their business to get closer to the life that they desire, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because I had already claimed that I was a spiritual entrepreneur, but I had no programs, no idea what that meant, no focus, you know, and I was able to leave this retreat with sessions and what they looked like, a program that I was releasing, other ideas for down the road.
So a blueprint.
Yeah.
You know exactly what to do next.
Mhm.
And that often is, I would say, probably in every aspect of life, can often be like the most difficult part. What do I do next? So many people use that as an excuse. They don't know what to do next. Don't know how to get started. And so this is it really is a great opportunity to, I mean, it's going to be a kick in the ass, but it's going to be the most loving and powerful kick in the ass. And I'm especially excited because I don't know why I've always been obsessed with business and making money, but like I've got an entrepreneur's mind. And so I'm really excited to merge those two and help these ladies or guys. I've been connecting with men too lately. I guess there may be a man who wants to come. Do you want to submerge yourself in a house full of women who will be shitting all the time? Just go throw that out there. But that'll get rid of the creepers who just wanted to come. Ladies,
Some married ladies.
we will be releasing. Anyway, no, y'all really should. You should come hang out. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. For the people who have guilt around spending money, this one's for you. You can't take that shit with you to the grave. Okay? You just can't. And I really do believe that, and this isn't me begging for your money, because I don't give two shits about your money. I'm just saying that there are going to be a lot of things in your life that in order to get it, you will have to exchange money for it. And I don't want you to miss out on opportunities in life, because a lot of opportunities come your way. And that's the reason you just don't want to spend the money. You're gonna be that 80-year-old that's, pissed off at the world and like telling about past times and saying should have done this, could have done this, would have. And anyway, just treat yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and I have to say, like, the retreat I went on with airfare and everything was over $5,000.
I bet you, but you don't regret it at all. Like, I get excited, girl. It took me a minute. I was the person who could not like spend $2 on myself. Okay. And now I genuinely get excited. I'm like, I went and got my nails done. I'm like, oh my God, I deserve this. So
I did feel bad because it was a lot of money, right? So
yeah.
I actually had a conversation with Jake and was like, listen, like, I want to do this, but it's this much and I'm leaving for like a week. Like, what do you know? And I mean, God love him. He's amazing. And he was like, no, you need to go because otherwise you're going to regret it. So
That's the word.
if you're feeling the inkling that like you really want to come and you know you're supposed to be here, because I do think some of the people on the lives are meant to be at this retreat because I'm noticing it's some of the same names on the
Me
live.
too.
So if you are one of these people that are catching us going live, which we're not going live on the same day every week. So like you're clearly picking up when you're supposed to be picking up your phone to catch us live. So take that as the universe being like, here, I am presenting this opportunity to you. And honestly, like if you really want the life that you say you want, then you need to take yourself up on these opportunities that are coming, because by not taking these opportunities, you're literally confusing the universe.
Yeah, you send mixed signals for sure.
Because it's like the universe is like, here, I'm giving you exactly the tools that you need or what the next step is for you. And you're like, nah. So the universe can't co-create with you because it's not really sure what you want.
Somebody described it to me once as, well, first off, I do see it as like mixed signals. So think about like a relationship, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But what was it I heard once? So I hear all the time, like people in my life complaining, saying, you know, that they feel like they're left out or nobody, let's just say like a birthday or something, right? So my birthday is typically forgotten. I forgot about it. It is Saturday. My birthday is Saturday, just so y'all know. But anyway, it being on April Fool's Day, people tend to forget that that could be a birthday. And so for the longest time, I would get my feelings hurt because people forgot about me. They did, or they would just play jokes on me. And it's like, well, I want to feel special, right? But if somebody was to come to me and say, here, I remembered your birthday and gave me a gift, and then I was like, oh, you're just feeling bad for me, or like some bullshit excuse, they're not going to come back and say, hey, here's you another gift. They're going to be like, you remember that time when you said that you felt left out and like nobody remembers your birthday, and then I got you a gift, and you kind of just like laughed it off and said, oh, well, or you said, well, no, you shouldn't have, or, you know, pushed it away and said, oh, I can't take it. I can't take that from you. Like, that's what you're doing to the universe every time. And we're not talking about just the retreat, but this is part of discovering your gifts, is knowing and being able to identify when like a desire, when you feel a desire in your body, and then being able to identify when the universe is like, hey, you remember how you said you wanted this and wanted to do this and wanted to expand in this area? Well, here's let's just see where you go. Like, let's just go down this road, see what happens, and see if we can get there. But a lot of us completely tune out our gifts and intuition, which everybody's born with an intuition. Everybody's intuitive. Like, we're not special at all. Okay. At all. We just pay attention to it a lot more. And I think that if you're able to do that, Aries, that's why you're so fiery, girl. Okay. But you've got to, I mean, just trust yourself, do something for yourself. Okay. Quit with the fucking excuses. That's all I'm saying. Just do it. Whatever that thing is for you. I know that was good, right?
That was. I enjoyed the prop. I enjoyed the prop.
But
if you hang out with Stephanie and me long enough, did I say that right? Stephanie and me, or is it Stephanie and I?
It wasn't at the end.
It wasn't at the end of the sentence. I don't know. Anyway, you'll start to believe in yourself, and you'll notice that you're kind of a badass. You're kind of a badass, and there's such a world of possibilities out there for you. And had I been given the opportunity to work with people like myself and Stephanie much earlier on, and had the awareness that they were cheat codes, I would have sold something.
Mhm.
Because I'm just so sick of suffering, you know. And do you feel like the world right now is? I feel like they need us so badly, not just us, but light workers in general. Like the world is so crazy right now.
And also, like 2023, the year itself in numerology is about spiritual awakening and coming into your spirituality. So not only is the timing perfect, but we also, let's get geeky and talk astrology. Like Saturn moved into Pisces. So like the fact that Saturn's in Pisces, Pisces is the spirit, like the most spiritual sign. So if you're really feeling called, it makes sense because that's where the work is for all of us. You know? Are you pulling cards over there? What are you doing?
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to just see what they said.
And what'd they say?
7 of feathers and the world. No, preparation and resourcefulness and fulfillment and celebration. So I was just literally saying you can have the world. But you've got to take the step.
You gotta do the work.
You gotta do the work. Nobody's gonna do that shit for you. You have to do the healing. You have.
Like it reminded me of like.
Oh, did you see that move? Hold on.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
And when you do the work and when you, I mean, we have so much to give. I'm so excited. Like I'm so glad that I met you, and without the internet, I never would have met you. Because I'm fully aligned. Like I'm in my element. Help me fire element. I just feel so like, my goofy ass, like the world needs me. That's how I look at things lately, with that kind of confidence that if I go somewhere, like you're graced with my presence because I'm about to make you smile. I'm about to change your energy. It happens all the time. I heard you say this recently. I have a whole podcast episode on this. I don't know if it's came out yet. I'll have to check. If it's come out yet. Because I'm not scheduling. So what was I gonna say? Oh, you were talking about how you went to the post office and were getting your invitation or the stamps. That happens to me all the time. I can go somewhere, and especially, I don't know what it is about down here. Maybe people are grumpy everywhere. But man, some of the people here, it's like, oh, somebody got their chicken or something. Like their chicken ran away, their goat ran away, they're pissed though. And they have this look on their face like they are
Where do you
smelling
live?
it.
That this is like chickens.
Mississippi.
No, I know, but like this is normal. Chickens and goats just run away.
Well, maybe they get out.
But why do people like chickens? I can understand. Why do you have goats? For milk?
People have goats for milk to help with.
Instagram died.
That's weird.
Well,
we're not on
only on
Instagram.
Facebook now.
I can't hear anything. What happened?
Instagram said no more.
Where is my stamp? Hold on, say something.
Hello?
I can hear you there. Instagram just kicked me off.
Well, what I'm taking that as it's time to end the live.
I agree.
So on Facebook, I put the link for the retreat in there. If you want to come, there it is. And we'll just hit up the Instagram people when we post the live on our feeds.
Yeah. That phone was running hot. I think that's why.
All right. Well, if you have been following our discussion on Facebook this whole time, we love you. Thanks for hanging with us for like an hour.
Yeah. Time got away from me.
And,
but no, it was fun. We'll have to do it again sometime. But
let's do it again.
in closing, y'all have a wonderful day, or I like to say a beautiful day on purpose. Okay? Be intentional. Do the damn thing. All right. All right.
I like it.
Hey, Kat.
All right.
All right. Bye.
I'll see you later.
Just kick me off. I can't